This week, 5 ways you can counter a dishonest and lazy media that skewers reverse mortgages. More after this short message.
Building relationships is the way Mutual of Omaha has grown into one of the leading financial services companies in the world. Our reverse mortgage wholesale division is proud to carry on this 100-plus year tradition. To your borrowers, a reverse mortgage is more than a transaction. It's a promise of a better, more stress-free life. Our goal is to provide you, our valued client, with the best service and support possible so you can focus on helping your borrowers achieve the retirement of their dreams.
Welcome back. Before we begin today, I first want to thank those of you who took the time and expressed your support for last week's commentary in which I dismantled Ramsey Solutions and 24/7 Wall Street's outright falsehoods, fear-mongering, and ignorance about reverse mortgages. So here is a selection of our viewer comments. First, Dean Germain wisely notes, Ramsey Solutions also forgets to factor in home appreciation on the $300,000 home over 25 years. If the home only appreciated at 3%, then that home would be valued at $628,000. The balance may indeed be increased to $435,000 with interest, which means their heirs would not need the non-recourse feature as they would still have $193,000 in equity in the home. Great point, one I missed last week. Larry Melton noted, Ramsey Solutions' example of a $175,000 loan amount on a $300,000 home would require the borrower to be 89 to 90 years old. For that loan to be in place for 25 years, the borrower would have to live to be 114 to 115 years old. I guess unless you're Benjamin Button, that scenario is highly unrealistic. Jim Veal said, the problem with Dave is that he gets some things very right and other things very wrong. He seems to have a particularly difficult time addressing reverse mortgages, although he seems to see the need for mortgages generally. Then, of course, we have the astute members of the general public who are reverse mortgage experts themselves who left these comments on our YouTube channel. Flyboy77 said, my thoughts are you're a snake oil salesman selling half-truth. Well, he never mentions which half-truth, but I'm sorry that bottle you bought didn't make your hair grow back. My apologies. Then there's John Jones 5354 who said, I'm sure that you're completely unbiased, just like the American Tobacco Council and their defense of the advantages of smoking. I'm sure this message will disappear in 5, 4, 3. Well, first of all, thank you for smoking. And by the way, that message has not self-destructed. The comment's still there on our YouTube channel. And speaking of not disappearing, the original column in 24/7 Wall Street still online despite numerous messages sent to the editorial team showing the false and misleading statements and just ignorance about the program in general. Now, conveniently, of course, there's no place to comment. The word shameless comes to mind. Nevertheless, I digress, but I do have an ask for you, our viewers, as you prepare for the holiday and into 2025. When you find an inaccurate media story about reverse mortgages, please email us at info@heckhamworld.com. Of course, feel free to comment or contact the columnist yourself because there is strength in numbers. The squeaky wheel may get the oil if we all can publicly shame those that are hell-bent on misleading their readers, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Now, if the Heckham were a person, consider this. They would have collected tens of millions in civil damages for libel and defamation. One can dream, right? But regardless of your political persuasion, we can unite around one thing: protecting the reputation of the reverse mortgage and countering falsehoods and just outright laziness and ignorance. Now, sure, I have to acknowledge media coverage of the reverse mortgage has greatly improved in recent years. Yet there are still far too many deceptive, misleading, and inaccurate stories in the media that are scaring away potential borrowers who may have greatly benefited from the loan. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, may be benefited by trying these strategies. First, fact-check the claims yourself. Be sure to use credible sources, though, and that most likely is not going to be Ramsey Solutions. Now, note specific inaccuracies and factual errors. Second, use public platforms. Now, the most direct approach, of course, is to comment if they have a comment section. But if that isn't available, then look up the contact information of the columnist, just Google it, or the editor, and send them a polite email. And if that doesn't work, then it's fair to use those public platforms. After all, their misleading statements about the reverse mortgage were public, so why shouldn't your rebuttal be? And if the author or media outlet is on social media, you can tag them on a post on X or Facebook that rebuts their falsehoods. And lastly, despite my snarky and irreverent commentary last week, I did temper my email to the publication's editorial team. So when communicating directly in an email or in social media, avoid personal attacks. Present the facts that counter their ignorance or their misleading statements, but be respectful lest you lose credibility with those who see your counter argument. Well, that was a mouthful this week, but it was a topic I feel is both timely and more important than ever before. But also, before you go, a heads up. Our top Peckham World Stories of 2024 will be out on Monday, December 30th, next Monday, so be sure to check that out. Thank you for your support this year by sharing this video on a LinkedIn post. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also you can listen to our weekly Reverse Mortgage podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, or here at Hack'emWorld.com. All the best to you and yours this holiday season. I really mean that, and love you guys. Have a great day.